No, I think maybe
he's lonely right now too. So,
Hung does like to sell himself, so he does
and I
like to sell
mean to
himself.
dudes in a sex way. Just kidding.
No. We're trying to keep it family here. Trying to keep it,
Okay, all right.
though there's, that's a real that is a real life thing that not with Hung. I've never heard about him selling himself, but he does sell himself as far as his street performances. He'll sell himself short sometimes. When it comes to business, he's actually got a lot of students. He's got at least 3 students now.
Really?
He teaches. He's been teaching martial arts though.
Oh, okay, well,
he's not teaching dancing.
That makes sense. Yeah. That makes sense.
Hung is actually a pretty accomplished martial artist.
No, I mean, he already has his black belt and stuff like that, so it's like...
He has multiple forms that he practices.
So it's like, that makes sense. I mean, he's certified, so it's just like, that's what people look for, you know what I mean? And like, as far as dancing, since there's no real, like, certification, it's more street cred, and Hella Hung's street cred is not for his dancing. I mean, it is, but it's not for being good.
It's not for...
being like technically good.
Yeah,
it's
not
about technique. It's just like he's a good entertainer.
Yeah. It's about being entertaining, and that's the goal he set out to accomplish. Is
Well, not at first, not when I met him.
When you first met him, well, so when you first saw, so let's set some of the background.
Right.
When you first saw Hella Hung, when was the first time you ever saw this guy Hella Hung?
I heard about him.
You heard
about him? It was a Bug-Eyed Bandit, aka Rock Bandit, and Rob.
And he was your crew. He's your crew member, or one of your former crew members, right?
He was like talking about like at City College. There's this guy. Have you ever met Hella Hung yet? I was like, no. Who the hell is that? And they're like, oh, there's this guy. He has a class or a club, CCSF. I was like, shut up. And it's like, really? And it's like, what does he teach? If you
build it, they will come.
Yeah.
Right?
And it was like this guy. He's like, yeah, he makes his students carry around a linoleum. Then he'll roll it out, then teach them how to do tumbles or something like that, or stuntman shit, you know what I mean, just do whatever. And I was like, what? And then then I guess I saw this magazine. They talked about this magazine, the Guardian. He was on the
City College of San Francisco.
City College San Francisco magazine, and it's a free magazine. And it was there's an article in it or a segment in it, and it was about breakdancing. And he was on the cover, and I guess he photoshopped his foot. So I've heard about the guy a lot, and I was like, who is this dude? And all he did was he was really stuck on the 80s, how, So
you read the article?
A little bit. And it was just more it was more because a lot of hip hop guys, if you ask any hip hop guys from the 80s, they'll if they refer to a breakdancing film or a b-boy film, it's usually going to be Wild Style, a little bit of Stalwart, and Beat Street. But everyone's breaking, not breaking. Yet with Hung, it was all about that LA all about breaking, Boogaloo Shrimp or Turbo and Boogaloo Shrimp and Shabadoo, and it's Turbo and Ozone. It's it was totally corny Hollywood.
They're on Venice Beach.
Yeah, so it was this whole thing he was putting that and just kind of a fobby take on it. Just he was just stuck in a time warp, but he could have swore that was the scene. So everyone kept talking about him, and then I finally.
So let me rewind a little bit and repackage what some of these things you're saying. So Hella Hung was this guy that thought he knew breaking, and you're a guy that how long had you been breaking to this point where you first were hearing about him?
I was breaking at least 97. This was around 2004, 2005. At least
7-8 years.
10 years, at least almost 10 years. Oh. But then being in the hip hop scene in the Bay Area, 20. It was by that time I started 91, and it was already 2005. So 14, 15 years by that time. Yeah. Just seeing the scene, just knowing who was who and what breaking was about or b-boying. Yeah. And and this guy was just totally off. It was stuck in 1991 ish. You know what I mean?
So you're like, who is this new, just this.
Yeah, who the hell is
this toy?
Who's this toy putting out misinformation?
Yeah,
because at that time, it's different from now. Now you could go on YouTube and it's when you see breaking, it's actually kind of serious. Even though toys know what's up, that's what's crazy. Toys now on YouTube.
What is a toy? What is a toy? First of all,
A toy is someone that's just basically your generation. You guys, you call them a noob. We call them toys, right? Like all you online guys call you, noob. Like if you're on,
that's because
if you're on Call of Duty, and some guys Call of Duty. If you're on Call of Duty and you're playing some guy that's a new jack, a guy that's never played before, you call him a noob. So like
it's funny how the gamer culture and the
it's very similar. It's like
now it's like this.
Yeah, it's like this.
Before it was like this.
Yeah, now it's like because it's all online. So the whole thing is like here's Hung, who's basically a toy or a noob, and just like going off of like like what he experienced in the early '90s or late or mid '80s,
Mm-hmm.
and just had like he wasn't even doing it because like he saw people do it. It's just he thought, I'm going to do it because that's what I like. You know what I mean? Which is kind of cool, but at the same time, it was like...
in the purest sense of it.
He wasn't following any trends, but he was just actually late on a trend. So it's like... So that's what sparked it for him anyway. So like, everyone talked about him. Everyone knew that there was something a little bit, off.
A little bit different about him.
Like a little bit like, either like mentally, like a little bit...
Yeah.
Out there, and people humored him.
He was on his own wavelength.
Yeah, definitely on his own wavelength, and like I guess Miles and and Rock Bandit would humor him and stuff like that, and they would just talk about the guy.
Miles pop him up there.
Yeah, like
yeah,
and then like
oops.
And like they like they humored him, and I was just like, okay, who is this dude? And like me. Out of everyone, I was like the most serious one. Like that was like, nah, man, we gotta spread this culture like straight up. There's no room for jokes
you're all about
like that.
form, all about
form, history,
the attitude, and looking like a b-boy and doing it.
Yeah, everything. It was like you have to have the presence, the persona, the technique, the vocabulary, and at the same time be current. And current events, who's the hottest guy, who's the one killing it in wherever. And I'm still like that pretty much. I'm a little bit more lenient. But, at that time I was even more because, we didn't, the internet only had, maybe one or two sites at the time, which was B-Boy World and Freestyle Session.
YouTube wasn't even around.
Nah, it wasn't even around. It was kind of around.
Pre-YouTube.
Yeah, pre-YouTube. And it was because 2004 was YouTube. And it didn't get popular to 2006. So that's when I met Hung. And, he had The Guardian, and that was a free magazine in City College of San Francisco. So anybody could pick it up. It's like, oh, breakdancing, and you're like, this. And I guess it's like this.
Yeah. And so you guys were like, oh, hell no.
I was more hell no than anyone else. Yeah. I was the one that was like, trick this dude. If I see him, I'm gonna punch him in the face. Trick battling him, I'm gonna punch him in the face for putting up this trash and this nonsense. You know what I mean? So then I did a performance at City College. It was for one of the clubs, I think. Sarah Smalls, who's Machine's wife now, got us
B-Boy Machine, worldwide, renowned,
B-Boy Machine, and then all of a sudden we did a performance, and I saw some familiar people from the local scene, and then I saw this short, fat dude. I don't care, Hung, short, fat guy, and he was like, hey, are you the infamous Profo one San Francisco legend? I was like, and in my mind, I was like this, awkward, and then
so you're coming over there, you want to punch him in the face, and he's praising you, so he completely disarmed you. Then, huh?
He did not. I don't know if he disarmed me because of the awkwardness or disarmed me with the praise.
Yeah.
I think it was more like, oh, I see why now. Before I didn't get it. Before I was just like, this guy is just stuck. I just thought he was an old guy that's just I want to relive my heyday. Yeah. And then then I saw, it's wait, this guy's younger than me, and he's just, there's something wrong. So it's more awkward.
He just doesn't get it. And it's
he's
just one of those guys.
Yeah, he's just one of those guys. It's just all right, there's something going. Simple Jack, if you ever seen Tropic Thunder, think Simple Jack. And I was like,
I haven't seen Tropic Thunder.
Okay, then all right, then there you go. That's all I gotta say. And it's he was a simple Jack, and it was just blah 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 blah. And I was like, oh, okay, I get it. And I'm a little creeped out by you because he gave a creepy vibe. It was very creepy. Hey, I was I felt creeped out, and I'm a dude. I could only imagine what a woman would feel like when someone goes, "Hey, hi, you're you're blah blah blah," and da da da. I was like, all right. So I
Yeah.
figure out it was hella hung. I was
Yeah.
like, this is the guy that, it's hella hung. And then not shortly after that, he started actually coming to the jams. Before he was he wasn't at the jams at all, and I think maybe he went to one jam.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like just doing whatever he normally does, hang out at home or whatever, go to a club or something. And then I think he one of the jams he went to, it was just I forgot, it was a jam that was in San Francisco, but it was funny because there was invited people from different parts. Like you had California from LA there, you had United B-boys
So there's
from
people
Texas.
from all over the country.
Yeah, the country, and it was a funded jam, and he's there, and it's just he was doing what I call first the man with 1,000 Spy, the man with 1,000 moves. I called Hung the man with 1,000 suicides, and then he was just doing suicides, and everyone that went to City College or knew him were going hella Hung.
So those that never seen a suicide, it might look kind of like this,
kind of like that, but
he'll
worse.
Be turned over. He'll be turned over. This actually comes from a famous battle that Hung was a part of, but he might be on his back in the air, and then he'll just land on his shoulder, right?
Yeah,
or his back.
It was you would land on his neck. I would call it the man with 1,000 suicides because he would land on his knee, land on his shoulder, land on his head, land on his face, land on the side of his face, land on his left butt cheek, land on it's infinite where he would land or crash or fall on his face.
Could you even say that he became legendary?
Yeah.
For suicides?
Oh yeah, because he would just throw himself in for other people they wouldn't want to get hurt like that, and he was just he had no technique, so he was just willing to do it, and everyone's going hella hung, hella hung. So you had all these crews from different parts of the country, and they're like, "What the hell's going on?" Yeah, all the City College kids or the Bay Area, the local San Francisco kids that knew about him were like, "Hella hung, hella hung." So I was just like, "Oh, this is crazy."
So it was he did kind of build an early national kind of legend,
somewhat, because this was a cipher. It wasn't in a competition, so it was off onto the side, and this is when no one thought ciphers were trendy or whatever like that. But then he made a show for himself at that jam anyway. And it was mostly San Francisco kids giving him props, but still or chanting his name. I don't want to say props, chanting his name and egging him on, instigating him just kill himself or do these moves that are pretty whack. And
now,
it's just and so that's the first time I saw him at a jam, and first time I met him. So it was it was kind of crazy. It was surreal.
Yeah, surreal and
very surreal actually. It was is this really happening? Yeah.
And that's kind of become his brand, right? So for those that are just tuning in right now, I can't see the numbers, and hopefully I'm just willing to guess something like 50.
50 numbers?
50 people.
50 people?
Yeah.
How many is there?
This is in the words of Hung, this is me having some wishful thinking. Or this is going to be me actualizing it. 50 people.
5
people. Yes. 50 minus 45.
So retweet, repost. We're just talking about we're having stories about Hella Hung. This is for Chris Woon's Kickstarter again.
Yeah. So I think I forgot to properly introduce myself. I'm guessing everybody that's on there are people that I already know, but my name is Christopher Woon. I'm the director of the new documentary film in production or in post-production called The Life and Times of Hella Hung. My first documentary film called Among B-Boys about the intersection of B-boying and the Hmong American community, the Hmong American refugee community in the U.S. Called Among B-Boys. It showed on PBS this past spring.
Good job. Congratulations on that one.
You.
Yeah, for real. That's an accomplishment for real.
And that that has nationally and actually even world recognized B-Boys Villain and Impact of Underground Flow in there as two of the featured stories. And then Suki Lee and the Soul Rivals crew are, and also Suki's former crew, Velocity, or his first crew, Velocity, are some of the other featured guys in there. So shout out to all those guys.
Shout out to the Monk B-Boys out there. What up, Looney Tunes, all those kids
Yeah, Looney
out
Tunes.
there
Those are the homies.
in Minnesota. You know what I mean? And Central Valley.
California, Central Valley, Wisconsin,
Yeah.
throughout the Midwest, the South. So those are just tuning. And then I'm here with my guest, the world-renowned, worldwide B-boy, Profo One, Floor Gangs,
Knuckle Neck Tribe, and Hung Dynasty, but I don't claim Hung Dynasty.
Hung Dynasty,
like that. I don't claim it like that.
This is for flexing right here.
Yeah.
And Milestone.
Yeah.
They would join me.
Yeah. I'm like no. I'm just gonna be like, Hung. That's wrong. No. So yeah.
Yeah. So we were just talking about the first time that Profo met Hella Hung.
Yeah.
And kind of starting to build a little bit of the legend that is Hella Hung in San Francisco.
Yeah. So yeah, he was like at that. He was at that jam and then he was doing his Hung thing and
Suicides.
Chanting his name. And then after that, not shortly after that, it's like the more and more you would see him at the jams. You know what I mean? I guess someone was informing him. I blame Miles probably, who's telling him about it, or flyers or online. He started to act.
Or maybe Bug-Eye Bandit.
Yeah, maybe Bug-Eye Bandit did.
Yeah.
The thing is,
or what's that? Joey Groons.
Joey Groons, maybe, yeah. I think it was those guys that started telling him about the jams more. Then Hung wanted to have more of an active involvement in the scene. Yeah. So he started coming, and he was just like, I think he was pretty much amazed by it. Like he didn't realize it was like that serious or that like it was that consistent.
That people took it that serious.
Yeah, because he was doing it at the club, and girls are gonna be like, oh, what the hell is he doing? Well, here it's like you could do that, like,
and then you see those one or two guys going that are really good, and then the girls are like, woo, and then they're done.
Yeah. So it's, I think it was a venue for him to like express himself, the way he does, and and then he just started becoming actually a regular type, presence.
So he actually became part of the scene.
Yeah. And it was just we were all amazed by it in a way, and I was like, all right, well, it's funny. You know what I mean? Like, he's doing 1,000, he just throws himself around. Yeah. It's funny. And then one day there was a event called Dynasty Bullets in Oakland, and it was a 5-on-5, and like me, Miles, and Rob were like, yeah, we want to join it. Let's just do it. And then Flexum was joining with us.
So that would be Milestone from your former crewmate, and now he's part of from Rock Force, and now he's part of Renegade's crew. And then your twin brother Rob Nasty,
and then Flexum from Knuckleheads Cali, and we needed a fifth member, and I was saying we should get Nasty Ray because it's dope. Because we knew at the time Milestone.
That's a funny little connection there.
Yeah, nah.
We'll get to that later.
Yeah. At the time I was like, Miles wasn't in Renegade, so we were like, Renegade is gonna enter. It's probably gonna be like David and Rockstrite and Monkey. So we were trying to already match it up. Who's gonna battle who if we get to that point? And like, we were saying, oh, Flexum will take Rockstrite. Miles would take someone else, and I'll take someone else. Rob will take someone else. We need someone for Monkey because
for Iron Monkey.
Yeah, because he's like, he's powerful. You know what I mean? He has like, he's well rounded and stuff.
Yeah. So those that don't know who Iron Monkey is, he's a b-boy he's from San Francisco, right? Or
he's originally from Texas. Moved to LA, then moved to San Francisco. Okay. Now lives in Germany.
But he lived. He was based out of the Bay Area for many years.
Yeah, at least 10 years.
And part of Renegade's crew.
Yeah.
And part of a few other crews before that, right?
Yeah.
And he's like pretty much the way I would describe him is he has every move in the book.
Yeah, I would say he has every move in the book. He could do literally every move in the book, and so we needed someone to match him. And I was thinking Nasty Ray at the time. He was coming up, and he was pretty well rounded, and he's a strong presence. So I was like, yeah, let's get Nasty Ray. And then we were at Osha's Thai restaurant at the time, trying to think of the crew, the team that we were gonna put together. And then I think Miles, I forgot if it was Miles or Rob, but one of them said we should get Hung. And then I was like, no. And then like Miles and Rob were like, yeah. And I was like, dude, no, man. And like Flexum was like, if we're gonna call Flexum, if he says yes, you're outvoted. Because if Flexum was gonna vote with me, we're gonna be tied. And
Yeah.
we're gonna figure it out. So we were there at Osha's Thai restaurant, and then like they called him up. They called up Flexum. Was like, "Yo, we want the fifth guy to be hung." And Flexum was like, "Yeah," and I was like, outvoted. And that was it. It was done.
Yeah.
Like, I couldn't. I didn't have a decision anymore.
Yeah. So the ways it kind of plays out in the film, the way I've put it is I put kind of your opinion about Hung.
Yeah, that's good.
against Miles, pretty much, and I do have you guys talking about the scenario, and you get to see everything, how everything plays out with the footage, and like really, you're here as I call you the Hung Nemesis.
Yeah, I would say that.
And and Milestone is a Hung supporter here, so
he's a Hung supporter.
and
Hung fanboy. I would call him a Hung fanboy.
Maybe I might have to update his title to Hung fanboy, but he was really enthusiastic. I didn't, and even though I know Miles, I hadn't really talked with him about Hung Dynasty and about kind of like how
how everyone felt, like especially Rob and Hung, how they felt about Miles. You know what I mean? Like the way they feel about Miles, like because he would never get involved in the drama.
Yeah.
Because he was smart and and like they for Hung it's like you have to be part of the drama to be down with me. It's and Miles like
you're not really down.
You're not really down if I don't make you go crazy, which is dysfunctional and drama but that's Hung for you. So like I guess like I understand why you would be surprised about it. Like, actually, it's true. Like, Miles is a really big supporter of the Hung Dynasty. It's just he's not down for, like, Hung's drama.
Yeah. And I didn't see him, because I was around doing different stuff, I just didn't see him around as much, Yeah. And he would be around for the... And plus, I guess I wasn't dancing back then when I first started hanging out with you guys. So I think that's kind of the difference.
Yeah.
Is that so I wouldn't see him at the jams, and I wouldn't, because I wasn't going to the jams yet, and then and then he wasn't there for all the production stuff.
Yeah, Miles is definitely like the big supporter of the Hung Dynasty. Like I think just Miles period is like he's biased but not really. Like he'll keep an open mind. So with Hung, he always kept that open mind. You know what I mean?
Like he has his idea of what dancing or what breaking should be. But at the same time, he's open to.
Yeah, he's just like he doesn't want to look like the fool, but he supports anyone that doesn't want to look like the fool.
Okay.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, and it seems like if you are the fool, it seems like, he's against you. But he's not. Yeah. He really isn't. He's like, Miles is just like down. You know what I mean? Yeah. So the whole thing is like for Hung, it's like he just thought he wasn't down, but then just Miles wasn't down for the drama. Yeah. And let's be real, Hung is drama. Yeah. And he wasn't. Let's be real, Chris. Hung is drama. And, yeah.
I mean, that's why that's part of what makes him an interesting film topic is how much drama Hung is. Hung Van Lem, a.k.a. Hella Hung. Yeah. And maybe at this point, I guess maybe I'll start talking about the first time I saw Hung.
Yeah. Let me interview you. Okay, we're live in the scene with Chris Woon, and he's going to tell us how he met Hella Hung. How'd you meet that guy?
Well... Let's start with before I even met him. I saw him. Right?
Oh yeah, where'd you see him?
Freestyle session.
Oh no!
So I saw him at freestyle session. What was it? 10?
Oh, was it 2007? Yeah. Yeah. And there was a big
in that big ballroom.
Yeah.
All the Koreans were there.
Yeah. That's 2007. Yeah.
That was really exciting. I think I heard I think Cross had like VH1 people shooting some show there or something like that.
I remember that.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of things that I mean, it was kind of a production.
You weren't down back then.
What's that?
You weren't down back then.
With you guys?
Yeah.
No, I didn't know you guys yet.
Wow, man. That's
I didn't know you guys yet.
That's a blur. I thought you were already down, man.
Yeah.
All right.
I was still so back then. I was still shooting Among B-Boys. That was only 2007. Right. So I really was shooting. I shot the bulk of Among B-Boys 06 to 08. And I just started really getting to know Villain and Impact a lot better. So so I was following them around a little bit, and they became more comfortable with me.
Right.
And so I was there with them, and I was there also with to meet up. I met up with like Charles, Soul Control, and they kind of had a little Soul Control reunion battle to get they entered together.
Oh, right,
as,
right,
you
right.
know,
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
think for the first time probably in a few years,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah.
So
Yeah, a lot of things happened at
yeah,
that.
yeah, that was
It was a
actually
big event. Yeah, it was a
that
big
was actually
event.
funny because Cujo missed the battle. Yeah, because apparently
That
he was eating
sucks.
outside and nobody told him. Yeah, and I didn't realize that he's hearing impaired. So
Yeah, yeah,
that was
yeah,
why he
yeah.
didn't hear the announcement and
Yeah, yeah.
everything. So, but yeah, that was cool. Who else? Gerald was there
Yeah.
battling with them.
Yeah, and then you had all the
And
gamblers, all the rivers
that was
there.
that was exciting to see.
That was the
All
first time,
yeah,
yeah, anybody's seen the Koreans
yeah.
in USA soil. So it was just like, it was, yeah, and you know, it was just like a lot of great battles, a
Yeah.
lot of great things happened there, and
A lot of people calling each other out.
yeah, and the
all
Hung Dynasty, where it was definitely enough the place. It was just like, you know, it was like the whole Ninja Turtle
Yeah.
motif. Like it was like, you know, just it was Hung as like one of the turtles, Cricket as April O'Neil, Joey Cruz as Casey Jones, and Rob as Shredder.
Oh, okay. See,
And
I think,
everyone else was Foot Clan, you know.
but the thing is, I think I actually missed that battle. I don't think I saw that battle. What I saw was Hung in the ciphers.
Oh no, disgusting.
Yeah, so I was like, who is this guy jumping to the middle cipher? He's kind of like stocky. He's not just stocky. He was stocky. You know, he is stocky, but he was like stocky back then. That was, I think he told me that was at the height of his kind of stockiness. 5'1", 180.
180.
I weigh 180
Too
pounds.
Too many cheeseburgers, Hung.
So I weigh 180 pounds, and I'm 5'10". So imagine you take me.
Yeah.
So
just squish it like Play-Doh.
So you imagine who is it? And I was like, who is this guy in the middle of the cipher doing this like sexy, trying to do a sexy dance, taking his shirt off, trying to grab ladies and pull them into the circle, and like I was like, this
you
is
could
not
like
a club.
He was so juicy, it looks like you could taste his sweat. That's why I didn't watch him in the ciphers.
Oh, I didn't want. No thanks. So but like, you know, fast forward years later, I actually was like, oh, I was remembering back. I was like, I remember that's where I remember seeing him.
Right.
And I was like, I bet I have footage, right?
Uh-huh.
So I got excited, you know, because I was already in post production for the documentary, you know, just starting to edit, and I was searching through all my tapes. I was like, fuck, okay, here's my freestyle session tapes, and I went through them, and I caught footage of him, right?
Wow.
But it was only like 2 seconds, because I went like this, and I was like excited. I was interested in the cipher, and I was like, "Oh, who's this? This looks interesting." I was like, "Ah, fuck this! I don't want, I don't want to record this." And now I regret it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Nah, don't regret it.
I regret it for the film.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So.
But you know, it would have been kind of
that's etched into his subconscious now. Like, you know, when he's dreaming, it's just like.
Yeah, but I knew there was somewhere I saw this dude, you know. And then fast forward maybe a year or two. It might have been only a few months later.
Was it the
Planet B-Boy?
Yeah, Planet B-Boy. I missed that. I forgot. I think I was somewhere.
Yeah. And, so I went to go see Planet B-Boy. The Center for Asian American Media,
right.
Who throws the
Benson Lee, give a shout out.
San Francisco Asian American Film Festival. They hooked me up with Benson. To kind of, you know, because I was making a film about b-boys, you know, he just released Planet B-Boy in film festivals, so you know, I was trying to pick his brain. He was really cool about that, and you know, I was there as a guest of his to check out the film,
right?
And I remember in the middle during the Q&A, you know, this guy pops up. He was like, oh, you know, he's asking him questions about, I don't remember, it was about the local scene. He just said, oh, like, my name is Rob Nasty, you know, I represent the Bay Area scene here, Rock Force crew.
At the time.
And so he put out his credentials. I was like, oh, Rock Force. I know Rock Force.
Right.
You know, I know who they are. And so like, who's this? You know, I've heard the name Rob Nasty before. I don't think I've ever seen him dance, you know.
Right.
But, you know, I was like, I've heard the name somewhere. And you know, and then afterwards when I'm trying to talk to Benson, and then Rob and Hung approach it as well, and so they're you know, they're trying to pitch to him this project that they're working on, and I'm like, oh, you know, who's this Rob Nasty guy? he looks like another b-boy I've seen. He looks like Profo One, right? Because I'd seen Profo battle before. And I was like, and I had no idea, being that I didn't know them yet. And so I didn't know you guys, and I see Rob, and I was like, he looks like Profo, but he looks a little bit different,
right?
So I guess it's
story of my life.
So I was like, I don't think they're the same guy, but like I don't know, am I tripping?
Right.
And so it just happened to be they're pitching their project, and Benson's like, well, I'm not local, I'm from New York.
Right.
He's like, well, here's Chris. Why don't you guys talk to Chris? He's from the Bay Area. He's he's a filmmaker. So then we ended up exchanging information, and I after I went home, I kind of sat on it for a while, but thinking ahead, I was like, well, I do want to learn more about the local b-boy scene,
right.
and I think it'd be good to know people, but to get involved, and might be helpful in helping me with among b-boys and trying to get that out,
right.
to get to the b-boy audience. But little did I know how involved I would be.
Oh, no one knows how involved you would be. I didn't think, you know what I mean? Like, when I first met the guy, I didn't think it would be like me cleaning his room. Eventually, me cleaning his room and checking him in the world about life. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Checking him the do's and don'ts. So,
the do's and don'ts. Teaching. So you. When you first met Hung, you were like, "Who the hell is this guy?" And then eventually you went on to become like a surrogate parent, right?
I guess so. You could say that. Yeah, I don't want to say surrogate parent. Maybe big brother.
Big brother.
Yeah, like a big brother and stuff like that. Like that. Yeah, and I think that's how he referred to me and Rob, is like big brother. Like I guess in some Asian cultures, brother number one, brother number two, or all that type of stuff. So yeah, it's just like and an elder, you know what I mean? Yeah. But at the same time, not as like an uncle or a dad, but older brother, like who's experienced. I think one of the attractions that Hung had to us is that we had this respect, you know what I mean, in the community, and that's just from like hard work and just being around, I think all those factors he respected. He was like, oh shoot, these guys are actually kind of official, you know what I mean? Not like. Yeah, because the guys, and I don't care if you guys are watching, like some of the like Hung's friends before, they weren't involved in the dance scene. They were considered nerds, you know what I mean? Or they're shy guys.
Shy Asian guys.
Shy, the stereotypical Asian guys. And, and even though we're like of Asian descent, we were very opposite of that. So I think with Hung, he was like, well, I could either hang out with these guys, or I'm the big brother, or hang out with these guys, and I could learn from these guys. And I think that's what he took on, like, he just, like, he wanted to learn from us, not just, like, at first it was dancing and, like, what's it about, but at the same time, like, the do's and don'ts in society.
Because to even just hang out with him, like, you come to realize that there's a lot of, like, social boundaries or things that he just doesn't understand or observe.
No, and
right? So in order to even hang out with him, you have to teach him some of those things.
Yes.
To make it,
Yes, and it's like, obviously the film's going to go into that.
Yeah.
Yeah, in detail. I'm assuming.
Quite a bit, yeah.
Yeah, and it's just like, with upbringing. I mean, the whole thing is just, this is in every immigrant household that you get some sense of that. There's ways of doing it in, different classes in Asia, and let alone if you're in America. You could be like of a high standard, different, like a high class type of, like, from an Asian, still come to America and still be like culture shock. You know what I mean? So let alone if it's like a lower, like maybe lower class income family and all that type of stuff. So I mean, it all plays parts. You know what I mean? It all plays parts at all, and you'll see that in the documentary. And like it got to it could get to a point of just a realization of, like, how much awareness, like, you add Hung's disabilities and stuff like that, then you add the immigrant mentality. It's like, it's crazy. It's like, it's a study, and I know Chris really knows about that. Like, that's his damn thesis and stuff like that. So it's
maybe I'll get to that. Because I like to say I kind of wrote the book on him, and I literally did.
I would say, like, like Chris would do something that we would never do. Like, Chris has the patience to, like, actually work with him in certain ways. I know Rob had somewhat of patience. I didn't have any patience whatsoever. because I don't humor. Whatever his idea is, I was the first one not to humor it.
Yeah.
Even if it was a good idea,
Yeah.
I would just not humor it just because
you didn't want to play along in Hungland.
Well, okay, all right. Just to put it out there too, because it's like Hung has a big ego, and if you just be with him, it's like almost like it's like you agreed with him and totally agree, and you gave your soul away, so you owe me. Like so it's like I didn't humor it. You know what I mean? I didn't play it within the trap, or I didn't.
So he takes any little success and he takes complete ownership
of it, and just like
I did this,
and I did this, and I made you. Chris isn't saying nothing, so it's true. Like
I mean that is kind of one of the battles I used to that's not really going to show up in the film. That's one of the battles that I would be like. He would call people his projects. Nobody wants to be called his project. And he was like,
I see.
I would try to say no, but there's like give and take. It's not one way because the way he talks about things is like that. I did this for you, or I transformed you. It's like no, everything's give and take. We transform each other in a lot of ways. And that's but
he's delusional, man. Like Hung is somewhat delusional. Maybe not so much now. Like maybe he's a little bit more grounded in reality now. But before it was very like this thing, because of his awareness not being there, he doesn't realize and his humbleness wasn't there. But at the same time, because of those things, it made him hella hung.
Yeah.
It made him like accomplish crazy things. You know what I mean?
And that's what a lot of the film is going to be about. Kind of like what made him hella hung first, and then the journey that he felt like he had to go on. He left San Francisco.
Right.
On bike, and moved to Los Angeles. Those are the facts. I'm not gonna tell you the story in between. Those are just some of the facts. He left Los Angeles on bike.
Yeah,
on bike, amazing.
Yeah,
and
crazy.
Crazy. And
he's been there ever
since. He's been in Los Angeles for. He's been 4 years.
Yep.
He's been there 4 years, and.
I think
I think is kind of something he really had to do. Some people just need to go on like he always talks about things being epic, and he did have to kind of go on an epic journey to really learn. And to he's really grown a lot.
I think so. Like I mean, here he wouldn't. Yeah, here when it happened, like I think maybe he's probably learning more on his own. That's just for anybody, but especially for Hung. He's like he's a little bit sheltered here, a little bit, and which could help feed that delusion, of like this fantasy. And now, like in LA, I mean, maybe you could say this more than I can. Would you say that fantasy is not or that delusion is not as delusional? Like it's like a little bit more grounded.
I mean, he's still hung.
Yeah.
He's still always going to be hung, but I think he's got a better understanding of himself and of people, and I think part of the thing about Hung is he always wants to choose this positivity, right? So he never wants. Sometimes he doesn't acknowledge what might be perceived as negative to him, but what's just kind of reality, and things hurdles he need to go over.
Mm-hmm.
But he's like, no, I'm not going to see that hurdle. I'm just going to smash it,
And bust my face.
And sometimes he does, and sometimes eventually, he chisels through,
Yeah, sometimes.
The wall,
Yeah. But it's just like initially, it's never gentle. Hung has never been about finesse.
No,
let's just
never.
say that.
Yeah,
he's never been about finesse. Yeah. It's always been like.
Yeah.
I think.
And the more I learn about him, though.
Yeah.
The more I learn about Hung, I think, or the more I get, I think the more I've seen him grow, and there are little nuances that like he'll kind of acknowledge, or he'll surprise me sometimes. I'm like, oh, I didn't even realize he was paying attention in that way.
Right.
So there's things like he can be kind of clever.
Right.
He can be kind of sneaky sometimes too. But he
could like Hung could definitely be clever. You know what I mean? That's not the problem. It's like or it's not the full problem. You know
clever.
What I mean? It's because at times he has good ideas and stuff like that, but it's just it's really his ego involved in it. It's like pretty. That's when it gets pretty tough.
Let's close the door.
All right.
Hold on. Hey guys, can you close the door? Sorry. If you guys want to join us later on, though,
feel free.
Yeah, feel free.
Oh yeah, you can hear them.
You can?
Yeah.
Yeah, we had a whole conversation in the background. We might have 2 conversations. The bonus.
Cool.
The bonus round.
Yeah. Background.
So I met them at Planet B-Boy.
Right.
And I linked up with Rob, and I think the first time I went out to meet him, I think I hadn't even pitched the Hung Dynasty, the movie, to me yet.
Right.
He wanted to talk to me about doing a documentary on Hung.
Right. Yeah. I think because we were thinking about that for a while
and trying to figure out, and he framed it, as kind of like a whole what's wrong with Hung kind
of
thing. And I'll talk more about that with Rob when I have him on the show. Mm-hmm. But I still got to figure out the whole Skype thing. I'm like one of the few people that don't know how to Skype
at all.
A little bit. I mean, I guess G-Chat. I guess that's true. Yeah. I just don't.
Not on here.
Yeah,
it's cool.
But so Rob approached me about doing a documentary. So that seed was planted like a long time ago.
Right.
But
yeah.
For the longest time, I didn't take it seriously. What we had actually ended up doing was I helped shoot what we now know as Hung Dynasty, the movie, The Return of Animal Chin.
The Return of Animal Chin.
And here's a little screen grab from there. This is something that I actually designed. I designed these effects myself. I learned how to use a particle generator, and they're also kind of there's some templates that I put on over it. But I had to learn how to do some real things for that to look half decent, but it's meant to look kind of cheesy at the same time too. But
I thought it was tight. I liked it. It was like This scene was definitely epic.
Sure. Definitely. No doubt. It was epic, but it looks like something off of like early Sci-Fi Network.
That's cool though. I think I like that though. The whole. I'm assuming the whole feel of the film was to be a little bit movie,
That's true. It's
TV movie type effects, and it worked. You know what I mean? Like the trailer, the first original trailer, looked like some grindhouse like.
Maybe we should pull up.
We should watch it, man.
Hung Dynasty, the movie's trailer.
Yeah, it's definitely had a grindhouse, 70s kung fu feel. You know what I mean? And
it was very Tarantino-ish.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it is the way he gathers things, and like there's all of like you and Rob's favorite kung fu and ninja samurai flicks. Like everything from the music to little homage scenes.
Master of the Flying Guillotine soundtrack.
And there's one that. Or maybe it's because of the music, but one that felt really Kurosawa-ish, kind of like where you see him going, but you see him going back and forth. But I think that's probably because of the music. Isn't that from Seven Samurai?
I think, that's where Rob's take is, isn't it? He was a big, Asian cinema fan, so I think he took from a lot of those genres, the Kurosawa genre, and definitely the Wu-Ping, early Wu-Ping stuff.
Okay.
Early Shaw Brothers.
Whoa. Yeah. Hold on. So let me figure out how to get to this. I think we do this. See my desktop.
Oh, it's black.
I guess it's not working right now, huh?
Yeah.
Well, I guess not.
It's all good.
Next time we'll share a little bit. Hung Dynasty. Let's see if take a look to our social stream.
Yeah, we got 6 people watching. Hi.
Hey, yo, what's up, Mark V? What's up, Rob Nasty? In the chat room. Hung made Chris. Mark says Hung made Chris. Oh.
Badass Asian guys. Ass with $ signs as the S's.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
So we go from we're talking about Hung. We're talking about the movie, right?
Yeah.
And so I got involved, and I think it was a great experience to be like. That's the first time I was ever edited anybody else's stuff. And So
how did that feel? Like, I
think for it was the first kind of thing to really teach me how to work with other people in post, like take how to take direction,
cool.
How to and there was a lot of responsibility on me, not only to like make Rob's vision come to life, but also to you know, he gave me a lot of responsibility to cut things on my own, you know,
Right,
here and
right,
there,
right.
and to, you know, and then I also had the freedom to think of these extra things, you know, to say, oh, you know, maybe I want lightning and you know, everything, you know,
That's dope,
for that
though.
scene, you know, and everything from I even was able to I have a scene that I kind of co-wrote the whole Spud the
Right.
rejected ninja,
Yeah.
you know,
Because that's what's his name again? I forgot his name. Sorry, man.
um,
Uh, he had a girl name. Just kidding.
not Leslie.
No. But yeah, just like because he was off. Basically, he was off count.
Yeah,
he was dance,
yeah.
right?
So he was off beat. So there's a scene where the ninjas are doing the Thriller dance, right?
Yeah.
And so I was at that time. So I was the guy filming, and I was too nice to say, hey, you know, I didn't feel like it was in my, you know, kind of in my domain really to be like, hey, you're fucking up, you know. So, but then it was kind of hard because I was the only one that could see the camera.
Yeah.
And so we play it back, and then we had a whole bunch of takes and didn't really get it quite right.
Yeah, he never got
so,
it right, actually.
So we ended up kind of writing a little skit to that where he gets fired, right?
Yeah.
And then
bad dancer.
Yeah. And the voiceover goes, "You bad dancer."
Yeah.
And
what the hell?
Whoa!
What
the hell? And so was it Hella Hung basically teaches him how to dance.
Yeah.
And because even though in our world, you know, you being the Hung nemesis, you would probably say that to you Hung can't dance back then, especially back then.
Yeah.
You know, and but then in that world, Hung is a superstar. So that was that was kind of we kind of built how Hung saw himself in breaking, you know, and you know in a lot of ways that he was kind of right. You know, you can never tell Hung he's right. You know, he's probably watching this right now. You know, maybe he's watching, maybe he's not, but you can never tell him he's right even when he is. That's kind of one of those things.
For sure.
Earlier, you know?
That's what.
And so even if he was being influential back then, at the time you couldn't tell him that his ego would just like run away with it.
Forget about it.
So like he was kind of a lightweight star in San Francisco. Like,
no. I mean,
people knew him. You know,
that's like in just going to clubs, going to jams. You know, people knew who Hung was. He even had a little following before he met us. You know what I mean? He kind of like people kind of knew who he was. Just because, you know, like...
He's this interesting dude that does
interesting guy
things.
That's outgoing.
Yeah.
So when you're outgoing, it's easy to meet people. So that's what Hung was, you know? So it's just like...
Like, I'll call him the instant icebreaker. When I would go out with him in L.A., he would just, like, meet the randomest people.
Yeah,
you know?
I mean, he has that bravery of just, like, saying hi, you know what I mean? That's one of the positive aspects of him.
Yeah, that's
then after that, it's crash and burn, baby. Crash and burn.
You're probably never gonna go easy on him ever. Never.
No, I mean, is this? I don't know. It's more like I'll congratulate in certain things, but at the same time, it's just like I'll know. You know what I mean? Like I know when he's really like he's humble.
Yeah.
And I know when he isn't. So it's a matter of that degree of just where you're catching him.
Yeah.
Are you catching him in that space of just he's full of himself?
Yeah.
Or you catch him in that space of just like
he's being real sincere.
Yeah,
because he has these moments where
he does. You know what I mean? And those are and he has a good idea about how things should be. It's just his approach.
Yeah.
Usually he's all whacked out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like this is his approach, but that's like exactly.
You know, and yeah, that's what makes him so amazing too. Is that
he's
that
like
approach,
a car wreck, man. You can't. We're all rubberneckers in the car wreck we call Hung.
I mean, sometimes when I would have to give people kind of like a short summary of what Hung Dynasty the movie is, I'd be like, oh, well, it's like Jackass.
Kind of.
It's like Jackass in the movie, but for the b-boy scene meets ninjas.
Yeah.
Kung fu, you know.
And it was all like, it was all like basically Rob based upon all Hung's fantasies.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just his fantasies and like, he was just Rob was just a filter to like, all that ADD and all that type of stuff. into like the script and
Yeah.
stuff like that. Not even the script, but just how do we compile these clips together and make a narrative out of the clips. And
that's definitely what that kind of brings to mind one of the kind of the topics, the constant struggles that hopefully will come out in the film is that constant struggle of about the balance of indulging him and kind of keeping him.
Don't ever indulge him ever,
because a lot of us, like, we'll, on the one hand we love, like, I like to play in Hungland, but I can only take so much. But like, so a lot of times, like, there's times when I'll go out somewhere with him and he will be like, oh, let's do this. I'm like, no. Like, I'll try to put limits on it. I'm like, no, I want to be home by midnight or something like that. Or like he'll be like, oh no, let's just get on our bikes, let's keep on riding. And I'm like, and let's go find the part. Like, one time we went out for a Halloween. He was dressed up in what we now call his Hella Man garb, and we were trying to follow the kind of the party in West Hollywood, you know. And it was getting shut down on one part, and he was like, oh, let's keep on riding. I think it's down there towards downtown. And I was like, yeah, but by the time we get back, it's going to be like 4 a.m., and I didn't really want to have that kind of a night. But sometimes, like, if you really want to have fun with Hung, you just need to let go and have that kind of night,
True.
So you're trying to find that balance of indulging.
Yeah.
And you know that if you really let go, you have to really not care sometimes. Or you have to, like be okay with when the shit hits the fan. Because it will hit the fan, and a lot of my struggle with, like, with my relationship with Hung is trying to have fun with him, but also, like, have him be the kind of person that I can hang out with all the time, or more than what we do, but we still talk, like,
because
every week,
the thing is, because it's not an act, you know what I mean? It's easy when someone's like, I mean, it is an act, but it isn't an act.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, he's a performer, and he doesn't know when to shut it off. Yeah. That's a problem, because usually people you can hang out with, they can shut it off.
Yeah.
But Hung has a hard time shutting it off. That's all it is.
Yeah, like, so maybe let's I just had a brain freeze. Hung overload. Hung overload. So
give us $15,000.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
Hung overload, $15,000.
We're campaigning.
What's that do?
What's that?
What does that do?
I think that puts it on our feed. Does it show up on the feed, or is?
No, I haven't seen it.
No. Maybe it goes to it emails everybody. Maybe I've been bombarding everybody with emails.
Yeah.
But let's look at my email or not right now.
Well, yeah. As Chris is looking at his emails, we'll talk about the Hung explosion. No.
Look, let's finish off the story about Hung Dynasty the movie. Right.
Oh yeah.
So I helped out with Hung Dynasty the movie, and there's a few times I actually was able to bond with Hung on my own a few times, because one time I decided to take him to see a film at the San Francisco Asian American Film Festival.
Okay.
About the artist David Cho. And do you know anything about the artist David Cho?
No, I don't.
He's kind of lacks a lot of boundaries on his own.
Really?
Like, he's
what type of artist is he?
He started off as kind of a street artist, but he's a mixed media fine artist and street artist. Like, a lot of graffiti kind of styles, and
nice.
Pen illustration, mixed media pen. He's also, I think one time he's like put doo-doo on his art, but he lacks a lot of boundaries, just like Hung. So when Hung saw the film, he was like, I feel like this is Hung Dynasty the movie I'm watching right now.
But that's Hung always comparing it to everything.
Yeah. That's how he relates, because he relates through movies, right?
Yeah.
But Rob said that those messages go to Twitter.
No.
Yeah.
All right.
Yay, Twitter. Tweet.
Tweet the deets.
Yes. Yeah, retweet and retweet the deets.
Yeah, retweet the deets.
So yeah, so I took him to see the movie, and then so he had a certain level of comfortability with it. Oh, and then I invited him. We had a Among B-Boys jam out in Fresno, and we needed judges, so I invited him to be a guest judge.
Yeah.
And I
was just thinking about that the other day.
And now thinking back, like, that kind of, nobody had ever given him that kind of respect before. you know, and the recognition, you know. So the fact that I was willing to let him come and be a guest kind of star judge,
Right.
you know, and he like my idea was that, you know, no matter what, he still has no opinion on what he likes, you know, and he's just one of 3 judges. So I was like, you know, I thought it would make it interesting, you know, to see, you know, and he does have kind of a different perspective because at that time he'd already been schooled a lot by you and Rob, so he was really into looking at the foundation, you know, and but he was also still about blow ups as well, you know, so he was developing kind of a well-rounded view of breaking, you know. And I think he's still, you know.
I mean, it's probably better now than it used to be.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, for sure. Like, as I think with the years of him hanging out with us, it was like his eyes a little bit sharper.
Even his breaking's better now.
Yeah. It's like, just more like he still goes for like, you know, he's not when he thinks it's not like hip hop. Well, not the hip hop that we, you know,
it's more pure expression. It's more.
I wouldn't even say that. It's more straight exhibition, straight like, you know, like Hulk Hogan, straight like anything that's flashy.
Yeah.
And like he would still go for that, even though now he has a better understanding of, you know, this thing. And usually, in you know, like the whole thing had been, people of hip hop culture, especially from my generation, we like rugged, raw.
Yeah.
Dirty
samples,
exactly. And just like you know, just like anything that has that feeling, we give praise to. But Hung is not that person.
Yeah,
Hung has a very feminine type of energy. You know what I mean? It's just more like, you know, just it has to be flashy, it has to be glitz, glamour.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's Hung. You know what I mean? It's just like he's definitely in the wrong era. You know, if he was like in 1988, he would be like Poison. You know what I mean? Like, just like he would wear makeup. I bet Hung would wear makeup if it was like, he
wears tassels.
Exactly, you know? Exactly. That's what I'm saying. If it was like back in like '89, he would be one of those guys that's dancing. Is like watch Poison. It's like I should just do that. You know what I mean? Like he's not like Hung is not street.
He's from the big hair area. I mean, he's about glam. He's about flash.
It's about exactly. So that's the whole thing. It's not, and that's the only difference now. Yeah. Before he just didn't understand and just went for the glam. Yeah. Now he understands the vibe. He understands the moves, but he still will go for the glam. But he just understands it now. So
he chooses to do what he wants to. Like enjoys doing. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
So anyway.
Like, so I think that's where we really bonded. So you know, fast forward. I went down to LA for grad school, and what happened was that, you know, there was some, you know, Hung had some, without giving too much away, Hung had some issues, and he's, you know, decided he needed a change, and he decided to come down to LA on his bike.
Yep.
And the first person he called me to let me, ahead of time, to let me know that, you know, I'm going to be riding my bike down, and I, you know, need somewhere to kind of clear my head. You know, is it cool if I crash with you? And yeah, you know, I actually had a pretty good deal with an apartment. I had an extra room that I was kind of using as like my editing studio and everything. So I was come on down, you know, and trying not to spoil too much. You know, he came down, and he never left. You know, and he wouldn't leave. You know, and so we had a lot of
wouldn't leave.
We had a lot of back and forth. You know, and that's that. You know, our relationship, that not all of that's really depicted in the film, but a lot of the back and forth is that, you know, he kind of bounced around from place to place, but eventually we ended up becoming roommates for about at least a solid 2 years, I think. And a lot of my role, I think, because I do have a lot of patience, and a lot of my role with him was to you know, I ended up kind of taking over where Rob left off.
Yeah,
you know?
For sure.
But because, you know, you and Rob had already laid a lot of groundwork with Hung, I think it made it a little easier. Like, I had some tools. I had some past experiences already where I could talk to him. Like, there was terms where I could say, you know, it's kind of like this last time. Remember, Hung, when we were talking about this? This is what, you know, you need to look out for right now in this situation, you know. So we were teaching. So I was teaching him how to be around a lot of my friends that weren't in the...
We're disgusted by him.
That weren't in the breaking scene either, you know. That you know, I think it was hard enough for people that are just like that didn't know him or didn't know San Francisco and that are in the breaking scene to be like to accept him, you know.
Right.
And it took a little while for a lot of those guys, and still we get questions sometimes from time to
Yes.
time about them.
Yes.
But you know, for people that have no context and that aren't used to people like him, don't have any other friends like him, that they get so shocked, and they sometimes they get most of the time they would get weirded out, you know, and I'd be like have to, you know, there's a few people that will just take him as he is, you know.
Yeah.
And those are the people, you know, those end up being some of Hung's biggest supporters.
Yeah.
You know, but so I did kind of have to translate him for friends, you know, and I think he's once the longer he was in LA, you know, and he was working at Trader Joe's for the longest time, and like so people kind of see him around, people kind of get to know him and what he's about, and they say, oh, he's kind of this quirky guy, you know,
quirky
guy that says a lot, you know, and
no, just kidding.
he's this kind of quirky guy that, you know, that maybe something's a little different about him but they would kind of say, oh, a lot of people would kind of they would take the positive first.
Yeah. Well, because you know it's just like anyone else. It's like they're seeing the surface stuff, you know, they're seeing the good stuff, and you know it's just like thank God, you know what I mean, that way. But in the film, I think you will show that there is a dark side. Dark side.
Yeah. I mean, because this is a guy that wants to be that has created the identity of being a hero, right?
Yeah.
And so anybody that has gone to that length to want to be a hero or to say they feel like they need to be a hero, there's got to be some darkness there too. You know?
Yeah. If you need, I agree.
If you need to be like Batman needed to be a hero, you know, and he was a pretty dark dude, you know. So
take that, superheroes. You guys are messed up too.
and I think that's seeing both sides. You know, seeing like the positive nature of Hung and what the best that he wants to bring to people. I think by really spotlighting that, and making people understand that, and you know, and by showing the other side, I think really makes that positive side even more powerful, and kind of like makes. It makes it more human, makes it more understandable for people.
Yeah, there you go. Like, you know, I don't think Rob could have done it. I don't think I could have done it. You know, like, you know, you gotta give Chris Woon props for actually living with him and it being his study. Yeah. That's crazy. Like,
okay, so maybe I should say as well, he ended up being my master's thesis in Asian American Studies, and that wasn't my idea at first. At first, actually, well, one of the ideas was like maybe I'll do a documentary about him and kind of like his performance character, you know, how, you know, it's like an Asian American version of Black Minstrelsy, you know, where, you know, we're like he's kind of this caricature, right? And some people will get offended because he's wearing, you know, he at the time he moved down to LA, he had this Fu Manchu mustache, and he wear these like fake Chinese hats with a Q, and he would, you know, and he would. Yeah, I mean, he would wear these crazy, you know, costumes and everything too. So, and he would say, "Oh, well, I have this identity that I'm trying to put out where I'm a superhero for Asian American males. He's a superhero for the shy Asian mama's boys, for himself, for his old self, you know." And so, you know, and we get to really explore a lot of that. And so, at first, I was just gonna do a short film, and then eventually I went on to, I was like, oh, well, maybe I want to be a professor. So maybe I want to, you know, do a written thesis.
That's dope.
And get a PhD, which at this point in my life, I'm probably not going to do.
Yeah, but, you know, but I think, I mean, for me as a Hung observer, I don't call myself a fan. I call myself a Hung observer. And I think that it's good that there needed to be a documentary about him just to understand, you know, because on the flip side, maybe there's a lot of people out there that, you know, that might have certain things about them as far as like a disability, mental disability, and you know, you still want them to, like, you know, continue with their hopes and dreams and like fulfill them.
Exactly.
And at the same time, how, if you are a family member or a friend, how do you deal with someone like that? Do you know what I mean? Like, these are all the things, and it's like, that's why it's like, you know, everyone likes that side of Hung, but no one wants to get deeper. Do you know what I mean? And then we're getting deeper. We're having to torture ourselves, and that, well, mostly Chris, like, you know what I mean? Mostly Chris and Rob, and you know, a little bit of me have dealt with the muck of him. You know what I mean? Like just the junk of him. So that way,
and to really get to know Hung, you got to know everything.
Yeah, yeah, and that's
he will
what
show
I mean.
you everything.
And the thing is, not everyone will touch it. They want the positive side too, because they don't want to touch that. And I think it's good in the film that you do show that, because it humanizes him. You take away the hero a little bit. You know what I mean? For him, why he wants. Yeah, what you said earlier, why he wants to be so much of a hero.
Yeah. And where even the sense of urgency comes from. I explore a little bit of that
for sure. Awkward silence. Hi.
Yeah. So he became my graduate thesis. At first, I wasn't gonna write about him, but my graduate advisor, Professor Victor Bhaskara, of the UCLA Asian American Studies department, he was like, "Oh, tell me more about this Hella Hung character," you know. And the same thing with my other two committee members. These are all people that deal a lot in like narratives. They're all like kind of like they deal a lot with like social theory, and they're all English PhDs. They do social science, but they also do deal with like kind of with the humanities, and narrative themes. And they're also fascinated, by him.
I mean, like,
I think you should.
See what I'm saying? And this is like a whole thing that I think there's a director that me and Rob like. His name is Kevin Smith, and there was something that Wayne Gretzky's dad. If you don't know who Wayne Gretzky is, he's like one of the greatest hockey players out there. Wayne Gretzky's dad would always used to say like, you don't want to chase the puck, you want to go where the puck is gonna be, and that's exactly like the opportunity of like the puck was living with you, and he's literally like Puck from Alpha Flight, but like the Puck was living with you, and even your people that you respect collegiately were like, you should do this study. It was like it sets itself up, like it's right there. You know what I mean? It's gold. You're sitting on gold. You know what I mean?
And I resisted it for so long too, because because
I would too though.
Because there's a lot of mental expenditure that I had, living with Hung,
and then you have to be immersed in it even more.
Yeah, exactly. So basically,
I had to see this guy's face in my computer.
Yeah. I was just learning how to be friends with him, and how to even separate. Like, one of the things I had to do was like learn how to separate.
Can you see the stress on his, like him explaining?
My veins popping out right now.
Just like Hung.
But I think of the way I had to separate my friendship from like living in the same apartment with him, because I had to like establish boundaries, but also say like, if when I got too deep into things, I had to be like, it's enough. Let's revisit it, let's say this is this is just the way it needs to be. And I did use my leverage as the main renter in the apartment. I had to find any kind of leverage as possible. So I had to be like,
because obviously you can't punch him, because he'll just be like, why'd you do that?
Yeah.
It won't affect him.
And there's a lot of things like this shows up in the film. Things like I was one of the first people to really let him cook on his own.
Oh really?
Yeah.
I mean,
he worked in a restaurant a little bit, but he didn't get along with I think that uncle and then he didn't cook at home with with his family. He didn't do laundry. I showed him to do. If it wasn't his first time, it was his first time being trusted to do it on his own. And those are just like having to juggle all those things, and kind of feeling of a sense of responsibility for him, and I had to learn how to go back and separate that and rather than be angry all the time, I had to learn how to embrace that plus the fun side, so I had to really and to be able to
which gives Chris a perfect opportunity to make a film and have that perspective. It's not just if I made it, it would be 2 minutes like, Hung, you're a piece of shit. And then like show Hung, then show a piece of shit. That's my film.
and nobody would watch it.
Actually, you'll be surprised. They'd be like, like my film would be as long as a Vine. You know what I mean? A Vine, like one of those Vine things.
Maybe you guys should have a Vine war. You guys should have this should be the Profo Hung Vine war.
Oh man. I'm sure he would get imaginative with it. You know what I mean? Like he would go all out, because like I would just be really lazy about it. He would be like, "Oh, I'm gonna get Profo. Watch this. I'm gonna put this."
I think that'd be fair for you guys to have a war, because if you're gonna sling shit, then he got to be able to sling shit back, right?
Yeah, nah, but it would be really short. It would just be like, and then Rob, he already did his film. He already did the Hung Dynasty. For Rob, he lived out his fantasies. I want to see ninjas. I want to see all, I want to apply the Kurosawa theory of film, and just like the Wu Ping stuff and just all that, and the Shaw Brothers stuff and the Tarantino stuff. I think that was like Rob, that's Rob's film. Like, like this is what I want to put into it.
Yeah.
Like I said, I would did something different. Miles would have done something totally different too. I know he would be like, it's like a reality show. You know what I mean? That's where Miles was at it. Like, so you actually living with him gave you a certain perspective of what you want to put in. I think that's you took this ultimate sacrifice. You're like film Jesus for Hung.
Or it's like the ultimate like anthropologist or
like you're like Jane Goodall
Jane
Goodall with the apes and shit like that. She lived with the freaking the gorillas and taught sign language. That's what Chris basically is. It's in Africa. It was like Culver City, LA. You know what I mean? Like that's what it was. You know what I mean? It's great. You should get a humanitarian award. You should get a Nobel Peace Prize after the documentary because I wouldn't do it.
I mean, I think. I mean, in order to really make a great documentary film, especially the way I make them, like I feel like I really have to immerse. Like with Among B-Boys, I really had to immerse. So I actually stayed at Villain and Impact's house. I went and stayed at B-Boy Suki's house in Tulsa. But
see, that's what I'm saying. The puck was there. You're going to the puck. You weren't chasing the puck. The puck was you're going where the puck was.
But even making another B-boy related film, I wanted, like, I kind of wanted to explore other things, But I was like, well, it's right in front of me. And then even like I have some other future films I'm exploring. They're both dance related. That I've been talking about doing, and it's not that I want to be necessarily be known as the dance documentary guy or even the Asian American dance documentary guy, but
Hey, John Chu did it. But he's doing G.I. Joe.
Those stories are there. That's That's true. I wish I had John Chu's budget. That's what we're trying to do. So donate to our campaign.
And let's lead into the
help get us a John Chu type budget.
Look at my hands. They're open. Please put money in here.
Freeze frame.
So what else do we want to talk about? What else that we could say?
Yeah, so I mean, we were just talking about immersing and everything. I had a list of stuff that we could talk about.
Yeah, we totally freestyle, but we can go back.
We kind of went. Let's go back to talking about some of the people in the film. So there's you.
Yes. There's
Bam.
Me. And I play. Well, I wouldn't say play. You labeled me as his nemesis.
I've labeled Profo as the Hung nemesis, and basically I put you and Hung in dialogue, juxtaposed with each other. Yeah. And it works.
The yang
and it works really well.
Yin.
And here's Profo's twin brother Rob Nasty. The original Hung mentor.
Yeah, the original.
Or not. He's the original Hung Dynasty mentor because he had other mentors.
Yeah.
Which I can make a whole short film about. Another short film about. Let's see who else is in there. Milestone,
a.k.a. Babyface Johnson, a.k.a.
Mad Miles,
as
Hung will call him,
a.k.a. Foxtrot.
Bay Area's best kept secret.
Yeah, Bay Area's best kept secret. Yeah, I was from Renegade Rockers. You also have Flexum, Flexum. Oh,
Flexum.
Flexum.
Here's Flexum. One of these two guys right here.
Yeah.
I'm not sure which one. One of them is the world famous B-boy Thesis.
Yeah.
And the other one is
Party Boy.
P-boy. Sexum Flexum. Bullet Tooth Bucho he's actually a part of a lot of crews.
Yeah.
Like when I actually just recently interviewed Flexum, and he started naming off his crews, and he was like, first of all is Knuckleheads Cali, and then does he sometimes say 5150?
5150, yeah, I'm a part of that crew too.
5150, and then he's also Hung Dynasty. And then Fury Styles as well.
Yeah.
He's also like, isn't he also Star Child?
Yeah, Star Child of Rock.
Star Child of Rock. So is that 5 crews? That 6 crews?
I lost count.
This lot. Yeah, so he's gonna be there, and he had a really good interview actually.
Nice.
So,
I can't wait to see what Flexum says.
If anything, what I might actually do is cut a little preview of that interview. I think just to, because I think if anybody can really tell people that don't know about Hung who he is and kind of what he's meant to, like, even to Flexum and the scene, then I think Flexum can, and that's about a lot of what I got in the interview. And he's ridiculously popular right now.
Yeah, Flexum's killing it.
Yeah.
Well, so you got Lino from Floor Lords.
Yeah, Lino Floor Lords.
Flavor Squad.
We caught him in an interview after the premiere of Hung Dynasty, the movie.
The movie, a 4-star on Clement. Like, it's known
that
as,
was
like, if you don't know 4-star, 4-star is a theater that's one of the old
a lot of kung fu flicks, right? A lot of Asian cinema. And that was a part of the Mighty 4 10th anniversary.
Yeah. And then we have Track 2.
Oh, yeah.
Founder of Star Child of Rock.
Track 2. Pioneer.
He's the man. Track 2 is the man. Like, you know what I mean? Like, his Spy's partner, just incredible energy, incredible
would
mentor
you
type
say
guy.
He was he's the closest thing to having somebody that was there in the beginning?
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
That is still really around the
and
scene.
He's who understands the scene right now and all that type of stuff.
That still stays current with the scene, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Track 2, big fan of Hung. Both of them are big fans of Hung.
I'm not even sure if Track knows he's in the film, or I don't even know if they know they're.
Well, they will find out soon.
Somebody please tweet them and let them know, and tweet them with the Kickstarter info too, maybe. But yeah, so
what are some of the rewards of the Kickstarter? What do you got?
Oh, let's go through some of those. Okay.
Oh, that's a good question.
Yeah.
It leads into like the money.
Good job.
All right. Oh, it jumped from today. Cool. Thanks, guys.
Yeah.
Whoever you
So
are.
right now we are at 13 backers. Thank you all.
Yeah.
$465.
Nice. Not
bad. And I know typically that it's just about getting over the hump with Kickstarter. I ran two Kickstarter campaigns already. One successful and one unsuccessful. But
which one was the unsuccessful one?
The reason why we're not in the studio right now is the unsuccessful one. So the Epicenter didn't quite get what we needed, but we're still going, and you can't stop us.
No.
But among B-Boys, I was able to raise our travel funds and exhibition funds.
Nice.
And a lot of that just came in like towards the second half.
I mean, I think one of the things out there too is, especially with a Kickstarter, and I think this work with Massive Monkeys is like, make your donations, but at the same time, if you want to support the film, maybe you can find people that have the budget to donate a lot of big money.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because there's a lot of people that have a lot of extra money that work for a corporation or even own a corporation.
They're looking meaningful things to get involved in, and they need somebody to tell them what's up.
Yeah, exactly. So even if you can't donate, if you could donate like $1, $10, even better if you could forward them the link to someone who has money that wants to support something. And it's not just hella Hung, I'm just gonna be jumping on the top of my head and bleeding and stuff like that. We're talking about like this is something that, like, if for people in situations where they want to live their dreams and they have a certain disability, that's one angle. The other is if you are a family or friend member with a disability that needs to go beyond.
And I think, like, in general, like, a lot of times, like, media, like, you have this kind of complex where you want to worship people, and and that's not always those aren't always the most important stories, or those don't even have to be the most interesting stories. I mean, sometimes the only thing that's interesting about some of those people is just the fact that they have success or that they are in the spotlight, but they're not living in ways or that really connect people. Like, Hung lives in a way that really connects people. And I think I agree. He's all about trying to help people, even if he can't live the way he imagined for himself. He's still about kind of like this amazing adventure that he's trying to get people on and just create these positive connections.
So what's some of the rewards?
So one of the things that we say, the tagline is a documentary film for anybody who has ever dreamed of being more than what the rest of the world told them that they could be. That's
true.
That's Hung in a nutshell.
Definitely accomplished that.
So you can check out the rest of our story if you go to the Kickstarter page. I will tweet it again. So let me see if how do we? Oh, there we go. Follow along with us as we explain the Kickstarter page and rewards. So everything's real time. And okay, so
some of the rewards are Hung Sweat in a jar.
So back this project, $1 minimum pledge. I actually have a new idea.
Yeah.
I think. Actually, I'm just gonna announce it now.
Yeah, just do it.
I'm just gonna do it. I'm just gonna do it. For all you viewers out there, Rob actually texted me saying do the money things. Let me do the money things. But we will we'll offer, if you donate $1, you're gonna get to watch Hung Dynasty the movie for free. Or not for free, for $1. for a $1 donation, you'll get a stream or a download on Vimeo. Hung Dynasty the movie. You can see the initial buzz around how Hung, what we try to do with this, our first Hung Dynasty accomplishment, I think, or it's not the first accomplishment. You guys have battled, but it's like the first piece of media, first creation around Hung, right? Yeah. And so you'll get to see kind of like what that myth and kind of mythology and legend that we built around Hung. Right. And so that's for just for pledging at least $1. You can't go any less. If I could take a nickel,
4 quarters.
If I could take if I could
10
take
dimes.
a quarter, then I would. But Kickstarter won't let us take less than $1.
Pennies.
So you can find 100 pennies in your
maybe
in your couch or around. Maybe you could walk around outside for 20 minutes. You'll find some quarters and some nickels.
Right.
Or every time I come home, I empty my pocket, and I have change, right?
Yeah. So what else? What's the
next award?
Yeah.
Reward. Let's see. Oh, so with the $1 pledge, we'll also give you a shout out tweet.
Hey,
well, we're gonna make you.
This
famous.
Could be you.
Yeah. You could live with Hung next.
No, you don't want that.
$5.
So Hung won't live with you next.
$5. You get a pack of Hella Hung stickers.
Ah, that's dope.
So one of those stickers is
I don't want them.
It's our Hella Man, hero of all heroes, champion of all champions. It actually looks really cool. I think it looks really cool.
I just don't want to see his face.
But you can stick them places to make other people more aware of our film.
Just not around me. But everywhere else.
Actually, I think I have one on my laptop here, huh?
I'm not looking at the back of that laptop.
Yeah. So you get a pack of stickers. I think I might make up a new original sticker for the film.
Yeah, that's cool.
And then maybe another cool one. I have some photos of Hung that this series that we did that are pretty cool. That I might make a sticker out of one of those.
Cool.
So $10 or more, receive an autographed copy of Hella Hung's first headshot.
It's actually kind of cool, but I don't.
Plus everything from the lower reward levels. So the funny thing about this headshot is I photoshopped it for him. I took it with this like cheap point and shoot camera, digital camera, Is
that the one with the sun?
Yeah, it's got the sunburst behind him. The same sunburst from like the.
Here comes the sun, or I should say, here comes the.
You'll see on like flags. You'll see on like flags and stuff, right? Yeah. And a lot of people actually did like it. I don't know if it ever got him hired. I think it might have got him commercial.
No, but it'd be good. It got him a commercial too. That'd be funny if you got him like a sticker. That would be funny sticker. But anyway, to get the original headshot.
That's actually a good idea for a sticker, huh? Yeah, maybe we'll make a huge sticker out of that.
Not around me though.
So $10. So another option for $10 or more, you receive a high quality print made from the film's stop motion animation sequence. So the stop motion animation sequence, actually I think I can show. Maybe I can show some of it.
Is that the one thing in the Kickstarter thing, the bike?
Yeah. So if you watch
cool.
the Kickstarter video at the end, you'll see these stop motion animation sequences that have been. These are just the mock-ups. They're not even the real thing yet.
Right,
the real the mock-ups already look so amazing, but let's show this. Oh, I can't do it in the middle of the.
That's just like the little sample and looks pretty cool.
Yeah, so
this is where your money's going too. This is where your money's going. Just know that this is where the money's going. You know, just to make that, to sharpen that up, to make it, you know, to get it full scale.
Yeah,
you know
exactly.
I mean?
We're gonna do high quality rentals. We're trying to use. We want some moving shots. We need to get the software to do the stop motion animation. That was just kind of done freehand, I think.
And that's the thing. You want for the movie to have a certain look, and we're talking about hung. There has to be something animated in it anyway. Like I think so. There has to be something animated in it.
I think the animation helps you understand Hung World a little bit better.
Exactly.
You know?
Like
and it'll help place you in that world. You know, and I have some things like I have some of his illustrations, and we have some. You know, we're probably gonna do some motion graphics, but the stop motion animation was like really key to telling the story and to telling some, because he tells a lot of stories, and you can't always create a picture. You don't have real mind, so we had to actually create that picture, you know, in a fun way to kind of, you know, show you kind of how Hung's world. So you would get a high quality print, you know, we would photo quality, because that's how we were going to capture the animations with using photographs, digital photography. So that's for $10 or more, you can get that.
The $20 pledge. What's up with that?
So for $20, digital download of the feature documentary plus our special feature videos such as extended scenes, behind the scenes, special featurettes. So extended interviews. You know, it looks like Flexum's only going to get a little bit of time, you know, in the beginning just to help explain a certain part. So certain people have certain roles, but that's not their whole experience with Hung. So we want to be able to share those in their own little mini features. Yeah. You know, so we're gonna share those with you along with the full feature-length documentary.
And for $25.
No, that's just for the next one for $25. So limited deal. The first 50 backers at this level get a digital download of the special of the feature film, special features, plus a digital download of my first film, Among B-Boys.
Yeah, dope. And the headshot.
And you get the headshot. Wow, did I put that in there? That's a lot. That's I don't even.
And the headshot, and the stickers, and a shout out on Twitter.
And we make you famous on Twitter.
Yeah.
That's
So $50.
So the $50. This is a lot. Okay, so $50 you get a signed DVD copy. So not only we're going from the digital to the physical realm.
Yeah.
We're making this
put that
reality.
On the shelf.
Yeah. Put it on the shelf. You know, you can put it on your wall. You can make a platinum plaque out of it. Whatever you want to do. And
you don't just get one film. You get two films.
So you get The Life and Times of Hella Hung, and you get Among B-Boys.
Yeah.
And I'll even sign that, and we can even get Hung to sign
for sure
the feature copy of the film on him, and you get all those other things: headshot, sticker pack, tweet. But here's where it gets really good. You get an end credit thank you in the film, so you actually get to see your name on the film. Your name's going to be at the end of the film, at the film festivals we show at. Everybody's DVD copy, your name is going to be on that.
Sounds good.
Forever.
Sounds good.
Etched into the history of the Hung Dynasty.
And the $75.
So for $75 more, you can get a Hella Hung T-shirt.
Yeah.
Plus a signed DVD, or digital copy. Well, actually, whichever is easiest for you. But you know, I would like to give you a signed DVD, and you get the headshot sticker pack, tweet, and the end credit thank you. So we're still yet to design the T-shirts, but I mean, I don't know if they'd be agreeable. But you see this Bruce Lee one? I was thinking, you know, the guys that do this,
maybe
Max, you know,
maybe,
you know, something kind of like this, a big special edition Hella Hung shirt, you know. Just think about it. Think about it.
And then for $85.
For 85 or more. Oh, I didn't even know we had 85 or more. You get a signed movie poster.
Ooh.
You put it on your wall. You know, if I'm losing my language right now. If there's any indication from past works, you know, if you've seen the Hung Dynasty, the movie cover, you know, I think our movie poster is going to be just as wild.
Right.
You know, and it should be a good one. Signed movie poster, you know, and once Hella Hung blows up, it might be worth something, right?
Yep, you never know.
So you get the poster, get the t-shirt, signed DVD or digital copy. You get the digital copy of Among B-Boys as well. That's for only $10 more.
Yep.
My goodness, that's a
and
lot.
And then
if
if you donate 100,
Hung will serenade you in a video, in a custom-made video. Hung will serenade you.
Insert name here.
To whatever song you would like him to sing.
Oh, that's even better.
Plus everything from the 75 tier. So that's basically your.
That's like your own Hung little personal thing if you have a Hung fetish.
And you know you can get it you can get it addressed to anybody you want as well. So if you want to surprise,
that's cool.
Surprise your lady, surprise your man, surprise.
Yeah.
If you have a kid that you want him to sing a birthday song to, that's it. That's the deal for you right there. And I think we have one backer.
Nice.
That will be serenaded by Hung.
Ooh. Keep it coming, guys. Keep it coming.
That's the thing about that one. Okay, so at the $100 level. Oh, actually no, they picked the other one. Nobody picked the serenade yet. But at this $100 level, it's limited 15 rewards are available. So there's only 15 songs that Hung will be singing. So maybe you could be one of those.
Right.
So for the next $100 level, the alternate $100, you get an original 8.5 by 11 illustration by Hella Hung.
Oh, dope! Yeah, he's actually
Hung is a pretty good artist.
He's a pretty good artist. Yeah, like I have one in my kitchen of Bruce Lee.
He was an art major at City College of San Francisco. He has an AA in art, I think. Mm-hmm. And he did he had his own comic strip.
Yeah,
that ran for many at the Guardian at City College of San Francisco. So the next pledge for $150 or more, you get a framed sketch illustration from the animation reproduction.
Ooh, cool.
By animator/studio. Animation pre-production. So this is a real sketch. This is going to be a real sketch from artist John Reinert's sketchbook. And you'll get the DVD and digital download of the film. Or digital download of the film. Or both. You can get both. What's the digital download going to cost? Just my sweat. Just my tears and my blood, sweat, and tears. So the next tier, $250, receive a personalized 10-page comic.
Wow.
Personalized 10-page comic written and illustrated by Hung Van Lam himself. Now, I'm sure you can get the extra special version if you want, if you're familiar with David Cho's art, he used to illustrate for Hustler. I think Hung in a previous lifetime illustrated for Hustler as well. So you can get that version of the comic book from Hung, or you can get the child-friendly kind of you and Hung adventure comic book. So
it'll be interesting. Regardless of what happens, it'll be an interesting comic, and I would definitely want to see a copy of that.
And we limit 3. There's 3 comics that he'll be able to do. That's a lot of work, for us to create a full comic. So and plus you get everything from the $75 level.
Right.
So that's the T-shirt, the DVD.
That's a lot of stuff, actually.
Headshot, sticker packs, tweet. Yeah, that's a lot of stuff. So okay, $500 or more.
$500. 500.
You get a day with Hung.
Wow.
You get a Dynasty. You get to so.
I will pay $500 not to hang out with Hung.
Now, so what we have here. This is what we call the Dynasty Challenge. Yeah. So you will engage in the Dynasty Challenge with Hung. So it'd be anything. It'll be a personalized adventure for you in Los Angeles. Everything from a morning bike ride along Venice Beach, maybe up to the Pacific Palisades. You might get samosas on the beach. You know,
Nice.
there's a spot in Venice that's real, you know, good. Maybe you might get a massage. I don't know.
Kung fu training
yeah,
or breakdancing training.
Breaking training, kung fu training. You know, there's a spot that he likes to go. This where all the gymnasts practice at on Venice Beach, on Venice Santa Monica. Hike up the Baldwin Hills, maybe. Maybe even end up going clubbing with him. You know,
now that's an experience. You know, I mean, you'll see the magic and the spectacle at a club. It's the best.
Actually, what I would like to do, maybe once all this is done, is go to Vegas with Hung.
Oh, whoa. He hasn't been to Vegas yet, huh?
I don't know if he has. I don't know.
Think so.
I would. I think I would have to have people sign some releases, you know. But I think that would be a great time, and everybody would have an adventure. So maybe that could be your day if you want to. $500, Hung would be the life of the party, and he would, you know, single guys. He might even help you meet some ladies.
There you go.
That actually, I would put money on that. You know, maybe you should put money on that.
Wow,
$500.
Wow, $700,
and you get everything from the $75 range. Yeah, so $750. You can take home a piece of the animation. So you saw that little figurine. When we're done with the film, that bike sculpture. You can have that. $750. It's a one of a kind. You know, we'll create a certificate of authenticity signed by Hung and John Reiner, the artist. And plus you get everything from the $75 reward tier. So if you really want to take a piece of the film home,
oh yeah,
that's your chance. Yeah,
you know,
when can you get something like that? You know, I don't know if anybody's seen Spike Lee's Kickstarter. He's doing some vampire movie, and he was giving all these things away. But you get things like maybe you get a little name badge, you know, for like $50. $50 for a name badge.
Yep.
You know, you might get a poster, $50. You know, a lot of his back stuff. A lot of it's pretty cool. It is Spike Lee, you know, so he'll have like Jordan and Mars and stuff like that. But at the same time, has he given away anything from his set? Anything central? This is like the most important piece of our animation that we're giving away here.
Right.
Just for your support, you know.
There you go. Like, and you never know; it could be a collector's item.
Yeah, you can be, and you get to support a film that we really believe in, and that hopefully you get to believe in, and you know, yeah. So for $1,200 or more, you receive an associate producer credit for the film.
There you go. Now that's like you're part of a movie. You're in the movie business, baby.
You're a big backer. You got some name attachment. You know.
You can put that as a credit. Like you can put that as in your resume. Hey, I helped produce the movie.
And you know, what else? I'm trying to add things. I might even add things to that. You know, that's
And Hung will bless you with a nickname.
Probably. Hung will bless you with the Hung Dynasty nickname. So he calls me the HD Master Blaster. Although I don't know if did you and Rob think of that? Did Rob think of it?
No, I think Rob might have thought of that.
Okay, but so I guess Rob thought of it, and then Hung ran with it. Yeah. HD Hung Dynasty or High Definition because I was doing the video stuff, and then Master Blaster. I don't know if you're familiar with Mad Max. Mad Max, you know, I know you know Mad Max, but I'm talking to our audience there. So,
my nemesis name is Vampire Magic. That's my nemesis name, Vampire
Magic. Yes, and you'll find out about that in the film. But we're not going to give that's a spoiler there. We're not going to tell any more about that. But Master Blaster is from Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome. That's the name of the film, right? Yeah. And the Master, there's two separate entities, the Master and the Blaster. The Blaster is this big guy that the Master is always rides on his back, the piggyback back. So the Master is the guy with the brains, and he makes the Blaster. He's a midget with brains, and he rides on this giant oaf that
giant oaf,
right? That I mean but he's a gentle giant. He's generally a gentle giant, you know, and he helps protect the Master, and they became this entity together. They run the gas town, right? Called Master Blaster, and apparently that's me. And then also, I think Rob told me that's me and Hung together is Master Blaster. So,
there you go.
So that is associate producer credit for $1,950 or more. You'll get a full producer credit for the film, 2 tickets to a screening of your choice. Airfare is not included.
Sorry.
But you also get a special crew T-shirt. So you actually, we have a lot of special Hung Dynasty things. We have these special Hung Dynasty shirts. Special. I have I think I have 2 Hung Dynasty T-shirts, maybe 3. There's one I made myself with the helmet tee, right? And then there's the one that Hung designed where it's like Hung going like this. You see his back is Hung Dynasty. It's supposed to be Hung, but it looks kind of a little odd. But it says tag on the front. So that's there's the others special ones that I'm kind of jealous of. That so Miles will walk around with his like Hung Dynasty polo shirt or practice.
Oh right. Yeah.
It's like kind of like one of those Pro Fit.
Yeah, the
dry fit shirts. I'm so jealous of those. But I didn't come in till after those were made. So I missed my chance. But so there's always really cool Hung Dynasty gear, and you'll get a piece of this Hung Dynasty gear specialized with your name on it.
Yeah.
So your name will actually be on it.
Or the Hung, and with maybe the Hung nickname.
Oh, yeah, actually no, it'll be the Hung nickname. So yeah, and a lot of times in the b-boy community, you'll see people with their names are across the back, and that's so when they're dancing, you can tell who they are, because a lot of times you'll see a lot of dancers and you'll be like, they'll be super dope. You're like, oh, who is that? So especially when you go travel, right? You want people to kind of know who you are, and now when you travel with the Dynasty, people will look down and they'll be like, oh, that's a producer of the film. And you'll get DVD. You get the DVD digital copies and all the other swag. $4,000 or more executive producer credit.
Nice.
So your name goes at the top.
Right.
Tippy. You'll get 2 tickets to the premiere or any other screening that you want to go to. Dinner with the director, producer, and Hung. Your very own. So actually, I don't think I ran this by Hung, but I'm gonna do it anyways. Your very own Hung Dynasty Elite VIP vest.
Wow, that's cool.
These vests are actually treasured. There's actually a few people that Hung still owes vests that are kind of angry that they haven't gotten their vest yet. But I'm gonna put the money down for this one.
Damn.
I'm putting the money down for this vest to make sure that my executive producer and Hung's executive producer gets a Hung Dynasty vest. And these are kind of expensive vests too.
Yeah. They're
like I think Hung put down they all vary from vest to vest, but I think Hung put down like 200 something, maybe $300 for my vest or something like that.
Yeah.
You get it embroidered. It's a full embroidered or a CAD cut vest, and it'll have your name on the front of the vest. So very few people get their name on the front.
Yeah.
There's apparently only me, Hung, and Animal Chin have our names on the front.
There you go. I don't.
Profo doesn't have his name on the front. Rob doesn't have his name on the front, and they're founders.
Yeah.
So that's how special it is to get your name on the front of your vest. You also get the crew T-shirt, the same crew T-shirt, along with the producers. In case you get a little too hot when you're getting down to, you gotta take off your vest. People still know who you are. So to rep, the Hung Dynasty crew and your Hung Dynasty name, and you get all the other digital swags and and I'm willing to bet that you'll probably get to see an early cut of the film as well before it happens. As executive producer, that's kind of your right.
Of course.
So those are our rewards for now. I'm trying to look for things. I think I might even look around here to see if there's any Hung Dynasty artifacts maybe we can add in, especially to the No, looks like Rob stuff, but
random handshake from out of nowhere, guys. That was the hand of Hung.
The man hand.
Man hand.
The man-child hand.
Yeah, man-child hand.
So those are rewards, and let's blast one more time. If you miss our reward tutorial, check it out here. Yeah, so I don't know if we want to keep on going. If we want to go eat, that's our 2 hours right there.
That's 2 hours. Yeah, it's about 7 o'clock.
Maybe for the next one, I was hoping to talk about filmmaking, how I got into film, but maybe I'll save that for Rob because Rob's definitely quite a film buff. I mean, you're a film buff too.
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah, but But Rob is really like an obsessive film buff.
Yeah.
I think he knows. He has like way more film exposure than me, and like he's I don't know, he's got a wider range of kind of influences, I think, to what he does. So that'd be cool to talk about films, documentaries. He watches a lot. I mean, he shares my Netflix account, so I see everything he watches. He watches a lot of stuff. He watches a lot of stuff. Is that right, Rob? Let me see if you can respond to that one. Yeah, so that is it today. Thanks to those who have joined us. And maybe before we go, does anybody have any questions? Maybe we can answer a few questions, or even save some questions for next time.
Yeah, maybe save next questions.
Yeah.
For next
So,
time.
If you have any questions, we're gonna say it right now. And should I just put the email on Twitter? Or you think I'm gonna get all these?
Or put it on the Hung Dynasty page, and you could actually ask questions to each and every Hung Dynasty member, and we can try to answer it back to you on the show next time. There
you go. So, Facebook.com/Hung Dynasty TV. You go to Facebook.com/Epicenter B-Boy. If you go to Facebook.com/Hella Hung Film, any of those places, hit us up.
Yeah.
They all reach me. 2 of those, I think, reach Profo. I think. Hung Dynasty still? T-Page still?
Yep.
And so hit us up. You got any questions? You got any questions about the film? With Rob, I'm going to be talking a little bit more filmmaking, talking a little bit more about process, talking a little bit more about the hurdles of being an independent media artist, and I'll even interview him a little bit about what he's trying to do now, what he's trying to create, and we talk about a little bit about the Epicenter B-Boy News Network that we all helped found together. So thank you for joining us, and donate still.
Money here.
And donate, and hopefully you've seen a little bit from the preview video and heard from our interviews. You're inspired to drop us a little bit, and it's hard to be an independent filmmaker these days, but this is one of the necessary evils of you just gotta ask people for money, ask them if they want to see it, and you guys as the audience, ultimately you guys can decide whether you want to see the film or not, and I understand that, and that's part of the deal I signed up for as a filmmaker, but it's my job to go around asking, so please don't blame me if I come around asking, because you can always say no, but you can say yes too. So
we like yes.
Yeah, we like yes.
And freeze frame.
All right.